All right, guys, we are back to talk about Job chapter 9. Have to excuse my raspy voice. I've been kind of sick here for the past week or so. But we march forward. So let's get into this. So, Job 9. Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth, but how should man be just with God? So Job is completely aware of his friend's claims concerning the justice of God. Further, he also knows that his character and actions are nothing compared to the infinite. If he will contend with him, he cannot answer him 1 of 1,000. Job knows he's going to lose a debate or a prosecution by God every single time. Verse 4, he is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who hath hardened himself against him, and hath prospered? Which removeth the mountains, and they know not, which overturneth them in his anger. I thought it was intriguing that a form of consciousness is attributed to the mountains, but that's just figurative, right? Maybe. Verse 6, which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble. Again, it is interesting that the earth is given a feminine pronoun here. And in regards to the pillars thereof tremble, here the earth is spoken of as a structure resting on pillars. I know most will want to claim this is poetical language, because if not, we are placed in controversial territory, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to be controversial, right? Verse 7, which commandeth the sun, and it riseth not, and sealeth up the stars, which alone spreadeth out the heavens, and treadeth upon the waves of the sea, which maketh Arcturus, Orion, and Pleiades, and the chambers of the south. All right. So many people are surprised to learn that Greek constellations appear in what was an originally Hebrew text. There is some controversy for those who want to do a deeper dive. I will include a reference here from the Cambridge Bible for Schools and Colleges. The Hebrew names are Ash, Kasil, and Kima. These names may possibly denote the Bear, Orion, and the Pleiades, or 7 stars. There is, however, considerable uncertainty. The word Kasil means fool, which is to be interpreted as the Syriac or Chaldean, in this place, giant of Genesis 6:4. That is, some heaven-daring rebel who is chained to the sky for his impiety. Such mythological ideas belong to a time anterior to authentic history. Though still lingering in the popular mind, they are alluded to in such poems as Job. In Isaiah 13:10, the word is used in the general sense of constellations. Kima perhaps means heap and is a natural name for the Pleiades. Others have interpreted the expressions differently. The chambers of the south are probably the great spaces and deep recesses of the southern hemisphere of the heavens, with the constellations which they contain, these being known to exist but only suggested to the eye or alluded to generally. So, more about this chambers. I find that to be a very interesting word that there seems to be some confusion about, and this is kind of my take from reading the other commentaries. Are these just unexplored regions of the southern hemisphere, or is something more significant about Job's cosmology being communicated? I would also suspect that this passage is revelatory because it gives us even more insight into the knowledge of astronomy in this part of the world at this time in history. Would it be possible for Job to know about the southern stars and maybe the South Pole itself? These are just questions I have. All right, verse 10. Which doeth great things past finding out, yea, and wonders without number. Lo, He goeth by me, and I see him not. He passeth on also, but I perceive him not. Behold, he taketh away. Who can hinder him? Who will say unto him, What doest thou? If God will not withdraw his anger, the proud helpers do stoop under him. So who are these proud helpers? I had to consult the Jamieson Fausset Brown Bible commentary. The proud helpers are the arrogant who would help one contending with the Almighty. They are of no avail against him. Verse 14, how much less shall I answer him and choose out my words to reason with him? Whom though I were righteous, yet would I not answer, but I would make supplication to my judge. Let me do verse 15 again. Whom though I were righteous, yet would I not answer, but I would make supplication to my judge. The idea here appears to be that Job is not conscious of committing any sin. It's possible that God knows him better than he knows himself, and in that case, through supplication, he hopes for mercy. If I had called and he had answered me, yet would I not believe that he had hearkened unto my voice. For he breaketh me with a tempest, and multiplieth my wounds without cause. He will not suffer me to take my breath, but filleth me with bitterness. If I speak of strength, lo, he is strong, and if of judgment, who shall set me a time to plead? From the Benson commentary, it reads, there is no superior judge that can summon him and me together. Heath thus explains the words, if I think to right myself by force, it is vain, for he is stronger than I. If I choose to decide our dispute by law, who hath authority to call us before him? If I justify myself, mine own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse. Though I were perfect, yet would I not know my soul. I would despise my life. I thought this is a little confusing. This is from the Jamieson Fausset Brown Bible commentary. Though conscious of innocence, I should be compelled in contending with the infinite God to ignore my own soul and despise my past life, as if it were guilty. That's quite the pretzel. This is one thing, therefore I said it, he destroyeth the perfect and the wicked. If the scourge slay suddenly, he will laugh at the trial of the innocent. The way Job phrases this is pretty irreverent, though it may be true as well that trial in this life comes to all. The phrasing is such that it implies that God enjoys watching our trials. That is quite the picture. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Throughout the Bible study of Job so far, we have heard Job's friends make the case that Job must have done some secret sin in order to justify the type of affliction he is receiving. However, here Job rightly points out that the world is totally inverted and that the wicked prosper and no one can even see it because they are blind to it. So some things never change. Now my days are swifter than a post. They flee away. They see no good. They are passed away as the swift ships, as the eagle that hasteth to the prey. If I say I will forget my complaint, I will leave off my heaviness and comfort myself. I think Job is trying to say here that if he could only forget his complaint, he would experience contentedness. It's clear, though, that he's not able to suppress this for very long. I'm afraid of all my sorrows. I know that thou wilt not hold me innocent. If I be wicked, why then labor I in vain? If I wash myself with snow water, if I be wicked, why then labor I in vain? Well, what's the point of contending with God if judgment has already been passed on him, right? If I wash myself with snow water and make my hands never so clean, yet shalt thou plunge me in the ditch, and mine own clothes shall abhor me. For he is not as a man as I am, that I should answer him, and we should come together in judgment. So again, Job bemoans the fact that it is pointless to try and argue his case before a superior judge or contemplate that they will reason to a mutual conclusion. Neither is there any daysman betwixt us that might lay his hand upon us both. The daysman, I had to look this up, means umpire or arbiter, which you can get from the context. Verse 34, let him take his rod away from me, and let not his fear terrify me. Then would I speak and not fear him, but it is not so with me. Job would like for the rod of God to be removed so he can speak freely and not in terror. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen.